Gluten Free Vegan Butter. Yeah, I said it just like that. Oh my god. I want. Why can I ever say this right? Why? Hi guys, and welcome back to another online gluten-free vegan recipe from the Heathen Vegan. As always, I just want to take a quick second to thank you guys for tuning in, taking time out of your day, liking the videos, leaving comments, and for most of all, subscribing. I really appreciate that. So thanks guys. And for those of you that are new to the channel, that you guys do end up sticking around. You watch some of the online recipes and you try them. Maybe you watch some of the vlogs and I gave you a quick laugh, I don't know, but that you guys end up becoming subscribers too. I wanted to get this recipe out before Christmas. I mean, you can use this as a Christmas recipe. This was my intention for it. You don't have to. You can use it any day of the week, whenever you choose to. But I know with the holidays coming up, and especially like those of us that bake a lot, you know, we tend to get really elaborate with our baking and our cooking, and it seems as though no matter what we do, we're just scrambling. And I wanted to put this recipe out also for those of you that don't really cook that much or don't really bake that much, because it's really super simple. There's just 3 ingredients to this recipe for these cookies. This recipe is super easy. It's just 3 ingredients. You can use this as like a last minute Christmas gift for somebody. If you want to have like a filler type cookie on your table, they come out really good. They're really popular, especially with like the little kids and everything like that. So without further ado, I'm just going to tell you what's in the ingredients. There's 1 cup gluten-free flour. I myself use the Bob's 1-to-1 flour. It has the exam gum in it. Remember guys, if you are going to use gluten-free flour, like if you're just going to mix it up with the different kinds that are out there, that's fine. Just make sure you put at least a teaspoon of exam gum in there, because the exam gum is like a gluten substitute, so it's going to help those flours bind together a little bit better, so that they have more of the texture and the consistency and the integrity of what a traditional gluten flour would have. After that, you'll use a 1/3 cup of powdered sugar and then a cup of vegan butter. Make sure that your vegan butter is softened. So to be fancy, I'm going to use a food processor. You don't have to. You don't even have to use anything. You can just mix it up the way that you would like. You can just mix it up with a spoon or whatever. I am going to use a food processor. For those of you that watch my recipes, you did see in one video that I broke my beater, and that was kind of a sad day here in Heathen Vegan land. But I do have a new beater, but we don't need it for this recipe. And I'm only using the food processor. I gotta make this look somewhat fancy, right? So we're going to use this, and then that's that. For this recipe, it is going to be kind of like a 2-parter. We're going to start with mixing up our dough, and then after we get our dough mixed up, we're going to shape it into a log, and then we're going to wrap it in some saran wrap and refrigerate it for a half an hour. Okay, so in your food processor, put your cup of flour in there, then put your 1/3 cup of powdered sugar in there, and then we're going to gently pulse this until it's like mixed. And you can tell too, because the powdered sugar and the flour, they're 2 different colors. Like the powdered sugar is like really, really white, and the flour itself is like an off-white. So you'll be able to tell when they've been incorporated with each other. Now we will put in our butter. Just put your whole full cup of butter in there, and then the food processor should do the rest. If you're not using the food processor, don't worry about it. Just using the spoon. Just put your 2 dry ingredients together first. Make sure they're kind of whipped up a little bit good. Then get your spoon in there and just start I guess having at it. And just start mixing it up, and that should be good. All right, here we go. This is going to take a little bit more time to mix up than the flour and the sugar mixture, because of the fact that we're getting the butter in there. Once this is crumbly, we're going to take it out. And this is getting crumbly. It's looking good. I think, yes, yeah, we're ready to take this out. It's going to be super sticky, you guys, so when you take it out, be prepared to get your hands dirty. Now comes the part where we're going to get this ready to go to the fridge for a minute. You're going to take out your saran wrap, and we're going to, with this recipe, we're just going to take out half the mixture at a time, just because it's a little bit easier to do it that way. And when you do take it out, wrap it in the saran wrap, and just kind of like roll it so that it gets into a log shape. It doesn't need to be perfect, because it should thicken up as it's in the refrigerator and it's getting colder and colder. So we'll leave that like that. We'll get out our next one. And right now you don't have to worry about your oven being preheated. We won't worry about preheating our oven until our logs are ready to come out of the refrigerator. Guys, it's been a half an hour, so right now we should be looking pretty good. You're gonna preheat your oven to 350, and then we're gonna get our cookies out. And I suppose you could cook them without the parchment paper, but I do recommend using parchment paper. If not, then at least try to like grease the pan. Now I think the reason why the parchment paper is really important because when you use the sprinkles are gonna melt a little bit, and therefore it will make the cookies themselves stick to the pan. So if you don't have parchment paper, just lightly grease it. Don't grease it too much though, because then the cookies are gonna like bubble in it. It's like a nice light coat. So what I like to do too with my sprinkles, real quick, my parchment paper isn't gonna stick. Okay, so let's get this to stick before we move on with the rest of the show. We're gonna put the sprinkles on the cookies before we cook them because the sprinkles won't adhere to the cookies. So we're gonna put the sprinkles onto the cookies. Oh, that was kind of cool. Before we actually bake the cookies because the sprinkles won't adhere to the cookies afterwards because they'll be already dry. And guys, if I end up getting white all over my black shirt, just remember that I'm partially retarded. I will always, 9 times out of 10, like, oh, I think I'm gonna wear black today. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll go like use some flour or some cornstarch or some powdered sugar because that's a good idea. But so now we got this like this and turning into a nice little ball. I recommend that you guys use a knife that's not serrated. I'm pretty sure you guys know what serrated means, but just in case you don't, this knife right here is a serrated knife and this knife right here is not. So we're just gonna cut them up. You can leave them like this if you choose and just wrap around the edges, but I find my family actually likes them with their circles. So I'm just gonna make them. I'm gonna make them into a circle, roll it around the sprinkles, and put it on my parchment paper. I'm gonna alternate the sprinkles too, so that there's blue and then there's these little Christmas looking ones. And I'm just gonna keep on going until I either have my baking sheet filled up or I run out of dough. You can make these cookies into any shape you'd like. I like them this size and I like them this shape because my granddaughters or even my son, you know, they're like little snacking cookies. But if you want to get creative with it and make them bigger, or even if you wanted to take like, how do you call it? Cookie cutters. But even if you want to take cookie cutters and make shapes out of it, like feel free. This is just like, pretty much, I mean, you can't get much simpler than that, and this is a really good recipe. I made this recipe on Thanksgiving, and everybody really enjoyed it. So it was like a favorite, and I was really happy that I did make this because at first I was like, I don't know. I'm standing a little bit funny because my dog is right underneath my foot, and I don't want to step on him. So if I have like this weird posture, it's because he's like right underneath me. But so I'm glad that I made this on Thanksgiving because honestly, this was the most popular like cookies that I had out there. So so that's another reason why I want to share it. As soon as these guys are done, I will plate them up and we'll take a look at them. Guys, if you like this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to leave a comment, you know that you're always more than welcome to. If you have any ideas as to what I should try next, either for a vlog or another gluten-free vegan cooking idea. And as always, my friends, have a great day, and thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you next time.